question is, are you ready?
What do you guys want to talk about?
Let me talk to you.
Throwdown Nation, we are live. It is a Monday night. We are rolling on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter /X, Facebook, and Twitch. It is episode 91 of the Throwdown with Matt. And tonight we are throwing down with New York-based pro wrestler and body guy, as well as a key member of the CWO, ABBS.
Yeah.
How you doing tonight, sir?
CWO, baby. Yeah, I'm doing all right. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Absolutely, man. Like I said before we went live, this is one I've definitely been looking forward to. So, as we get started, for anybody that's watching this live, if you have questions or comments, just throw them in the chat and we'll either kind of handle them as we go or do a little Q&A at the end.
Yeah.
So we'll go ahead and get started with the first and most obvious question, ABBS, and that is, how long have you been wrestling?
Okay, so I started training in 2014, stayed there in one place for about 5 years, and then I've been out here on the indies since 2019. So I guess technically 6 years I've technically been out here, or five at this. No, yeah, 6 years at this point.
Gotcha. So who actually trained you?
I was trained by WWE Hall of Famer, the unpredictable Johnny Rods.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, over at Gleason's Gym down in Brooklyn. Yeah,
Very cool.
trained a lot of guys, a lot of well-known names in the business.
Oh, for sure.
Like half of ECW, pretty much.
Yeah. So what would you say was the most challenging in the early stages of your training? What was the most challenging aspect of professional wrestling for you to wrap your mind and body around?
Personally, considering I am not an uber duper athlete, I am not like a super athlete. Pretty much everything. It was tough just being like so cardiovascularly in shape and just rolling around, bumping. It took a while for me to get the hang of that. I'm not the fastest learner, but I learn eventually, and slowly but surely I started getting more used to it. And usually you give people like around 2 weeks before they just ultimately pack it up and quit. That's when they sort of gauge it and they do everything they can to sort of blow you up and test you. I stuck around like an annoying pest and didn't stop, and here I am now. So yeah, to sum it all up, pretty much the entire wrestling aspect of it was the most difficult part of the training.
Gotcha. Well, what I want to do really quick is for people that are not familiar with you and what you do, I was looking around on YouTube and I found your 2024 highlight reel. So I'm going to share my screen and play your highlight reel just so people can get a taste of abs and what you do.
All right. I edited it myself, so no judging.
Believe me, I
I'm
learned
talking to the people,
something.
not you.
Oh.
Oh, I don't want to hear the music I picked.
Right hand is causing you pain. Cut it off, cut it off. If your colors are starting to run, let them all run away from you. There is lightning in this room, above our heads, waiting to strike. I'm a thinker, not a talker. Put your faith in God. We were hoping for some romance. All we found was more despair. We must talk about our problems. We are in a state of flux. I'd kill for an adventure, just you and I in the curves and barn, dancing to you knew, so all that we learned disappeared. When you shouted at me, I saw my father in the second grade, concerned and kind, yet unable to reach me. We were hoping for some romance. All we found was more despair. We must talk about our problems. We are in a state of flux.
All right. Wow.
Good,
That
good,
guy's talented. Sign up
absolutely
that
good,
guy.
good stuff, man. And I can tell that you have worked hard on those abs.
I was born with these abs, no work necessary.
No
And they've
work
stayed with
necessary.
me. They've stayed with me ever since. I started my first few matches with a singlet so I don't make anyone feel insecure. I don't make any bad impressions on people, make none of the boys feel less than. Always was a team player, but now I'm showing them off.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah, there
You
we
get it.
go. I absolutely get it. So tell us, we saw some evidence of the group in the video. Tell us about the CWO.
The CWO is the greatest faction ever, created by the one and only creamy commander Stan Styles, king of the intergender bonanza. He's the greatest. He's our founder. He's our creamy commander. We all are subservient to him under the spell of his creamy goodness, his cream. And we all know Stan Styles, just the greatest intergender wrestler ever, I would say. He's created the IG bonanza. Um, Yeah, the King of Cream, CWO, consists of me, Everest, Mark Angel, Journey Burke, and Xavier Cross, and probably many more scattered across the globe. We have affiliates. I don't even want to call
Awesome.
Solar part of it, but he is.
Awesome. So I'm presuming that you have been a fan of this stuff the majority of your life. Is that pretty accurate?
No, actually, I got in very late in life. I am a late bloomer to wrestling. Uh, actually fully started watching it in my freshman year of college. So
Really?
Yeah, that was like my first time sitting down and actually watching it. I do vividly remember though, back when we had those illegal black boxes, those cable, like we got some illegal cable.
Oh yeah.
Um, do remember watching, I think it was No Way Out 2004. I do remember watching the Eddie Guerrero Brock Lesnar match,
Oh yeah.
but I didn't, obviously, it didn't stick with me enough for me to like get into wrestling at that point, but I liked it, I guess. But then fast forward to 2009, I'm at my dorm room with my new buddies. They invite me to come in. What? And they had Raw on, and I was like, "Whoa, okay, now I kind of get it. I'm kind of enjoying this." And one of the first things I see is one of the first superstars I guess I see and gravitate to is Sheamus beating the hell out of people. And this is like in his early push when they were really
Oh yeah.
pushing him strong, retiring people. Uh, he was gonna beat John Cena in a few months. It was, yeah. So yeah, that was when I first started watching, and it's hooked me ever since.
Gotcha. So at what point did your fandom take a turn and you started thinking, I think I could actually do this?
Well, ever since I started watching, I figured, hey, what's a way? How can I try this? I want to actually. Where can I learn to do this? So I was in college. It was in Connecticut. We did because I think someone suggested. I don't know how, but someone planned like a little group trip with people to go up to the New England Pro Wrestling Academy up in at that point it was in New Hampshire, I think, or somewhere in Massachusetts. Yeah, one of those places. It's still around now, but I forget where exactly. Um, we went there to do like a 1 day thing just to see how people liked it, and like I remember Ivar from the War Raiders was there.
Oh, cool.
What they're called now, Viking Experience. Yeah,
Yeah.
the Viking Raiders. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, he was there, and it was fun. I figured I want to keep going with this. So after I graduated college, I used, I guess, some of the money I saved from being an RA in college and decided to just sign up to Johnny Rods in Brooklyn. And it's history from there.
Nice, nice. Out of curiosity, what did you study in college?
Communications, but I'm not really doing too much with that right now. I had to go back to massage therapy school, so I just finished massage therapy school, and I'm working towards doing that right now.
Oh, nice, nice. Speed round.
Yeah.
Um, you could potentially know him by two different names, Seth Rollins or Tyler Black.
Um, Badass. I think he's badass. He's cool as hell.
Yeah,
Fashionable too.
absolutely. I'm definitely in. I always look forward to seeing what in the world is he going to be wearing tonight.
I
I
wish
mean,
I wish I could pull off half the stuff he wears.
I know that the outfit he had on at Elimination Chamber was pretty funky.
To
It looked
to
like
walk to Yeah, to walk around in that, I love it. I applaud him.
yeah, yeah, and the outfit he had on Friday night on SmackDown when Punk told him he looked like an oven mitt. That I just about died.
I loved it when he curb stomped. I forgot who it was. He curb stomped the dude in those big viral red boot things. It's like,
Yeah,
what the hell? Oh my god.
yeah. His recent fashion sense has just been a whole new layer of the onion. Just
Yeah,
love it, love
exactly.
it, love it. So, what does your family think of all of this?
They're generally supportive. Obviously they're like, you gotta think of other things before that, but we like you doing it. It's you're having fun doing it. It makes you happy. We see you like it, so yeah, they generally do enjoy it. Tried telling that to my grandparents, but uh, Generally, both my parents they're generally supportive of it.
That's
As long as
awesome.
I'm not out hurting anybody, and I'm keeping myself happy, they're fine with it. And I'm
That's
realistic
great.
about it.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. So, away from wrestling, what are some of your other hobbies and interests?
Um, I do lately. I've been. It's been mostly I enjoy watching sketch comedy shows, and I write sketches too sometimes whenever I get the opportunity to. I generally am a pretty boring guy, I guess. I like my peace and quiet. Been going out for walks a lot. I have been working out a lot more. Been sort of making that more fun. Um, but yeah, it's comedy writing and just overall just filming sketches and making them too.
Gotcha.
Just anything
Well,
creative.
this is mostly a wrestling related show, but we do dabble a little bit into pop culture, and
Yeah.
I'm always looking for recommendations. So
Okay.
are you watching or listening to anything cool right now?
Um, I wouldn't say it's pop culture, but I've been listening to this history podcast called Fall of Civilizations. It's just if you like history,
Oh, I love history.
it's really that's what I'm interested in too. I love listening to history podcasts. Uh there's what's it called? Oh yeah, Improv for Humans. It's just an improv podcast where like these improv comedians just go off and start doing improv bits. It's fun.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I studied at UCB, so I did some improv and sketch writing, Upright Citizens
Hmm.
Brigade. And
Very
they're
cool.
well known in New York and LA.
Hmm.
So I've done some improv before. Looking to get back into it, honestly, actually, to like really dust off my quote unquote skills. But yeah, I've been watching a lot of watching a lot of Whitest Kids You Know, their sketch comedy group.
Hmm.
Uh, Really interesting. They're way back in the day. Um, I watched Severance on Apple TV. Real good show. Just started, huh?
You're the second person on here that has recommended that show. I need to check that out.
Oh, it's really good. I'm in the middle of the second season right now. It's so good. It's a mind bending.
Very
And
cool.
I just started also watching Get Better Call Saul. So
Oh, that's great. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I love that show.
yeah.
Absolutely love it. But I'm also a history buff. My undergraduate degree is actually in history.
Oh,
So
nice,
yeah,
nice.
yeah. History major with an English minor, and end up working in science. So
And you have a wrestling podcast.
exactly. So, but so outside of wrestling, what athletes or entertainers inspire you the most, and why?
Ooh, side of wrestling. Okay. Um. Well, as an athlete, I'm a big Yankee fan. So,
Mhm.
like, obviously, my favorite baseball player of all time, my favorite Yankee, because I grew up pretty much watching him. Well, at least in my teen years when I was really into baseball. Um, it was Hideki Matsui. I love him. Derek Jeter, obviously,
Mhm.
that type of deal. Uh, I would call myself a big Yankee fan, but I haven't really been following too much. I just know they almost won the series. Well, they didn't almost win the series. They made it to the series last year. They didn't really do well, but uh, as far as other stuff, I just watch. I like anything, honestly. I'm open minded as hell. I don't really look at people like with inspiration so much, but I take a lot of a draw from a lot of things and try to put it into my whole thing.
Mhm.
But yeah, I just enjoy the medium of entertainment, and especially film and television and comedy.
Speed round.
Yeah.
And this is a pretty creative guy. Bo Dallas.
Ooh. Believe.
Yeah. Yep,
I
yep,
love
yep.
him.
I do too. And I'm hoping that they can get the Wyatt Six thing going again. Good.
I do. I hope so too, because they had something good with it, and like,
And they let it fizzle. I mean,
yeah. I don't know why they have such difficulty. I mean, supernatural stuff in wrestling is kind of dying down, but
yeah,
so it's difficult to constantly do that regularly. And I get not using them all the time, but you got to keep. I think you got to keep them a more present. If like,
right. Because aside from these little screen glitches and such, you wouldn't even remember that they were a thing at this point. I
yeah, they
mean,
they they keep them away for too long. Honestly, like. I
they
understand
do.
maybe a few weeks you can't have them on TV every week, let alone wrestle. I get that, but you kind of got to keep them present so people don't like forget. And it's like that's like
Absolutely.
at this point now, what, six good wrestlers that are not being used consistently?
Right, right. And they in my mind anyway, they did such a good job casting that faction. I
Oh, of
mean,
course.
some really talented wrestlers and also, people that can talk and play the part that's needed,
I also like. I just personally love giving Eric Rowan another like legit shot. Like he
oh yeah.
deserves the world.
Absolutely, and I'm a big fan of Sam Shaw. Dexter
Yeah,
Loomis.
oh yeah.
I think that guy is so underrated. I
I love
mean,
how in WWE, he basically kind of sort of did the same thing he did in TNA, only without the talking. But they
right?
made the creepy stalker guy a lovable baby face.
Yeah, yeah, and to be able to pull that off is not an easy thing to
Like
do.
this man is stalking your family, but they've made him endearing.
Yeah. So, you're a New York City guy. What is your favorite thing about New York?
Nothing. I hate it here.
Okay.
Honestly, no. Oh no, no. I mean, you get obviously everyone will tell you it's like it's like very diverse and very like it's it's kind of where you want to come to because it's more, I guess it's just more stimulating to people to come out here. It's the big city, people want to move here, and that's all great. I just like being from here, you tend to like get bored of it because you've been around it for so long, and like the suburbs or the country sounds more fun and interesting to me, I'm saying.
Right.
Where like
Right.
everyone is like, oh, it's exciting, I get to go to the city and all that stuff. And yeah, there's more things to do. It's, you can't accuse it of being boring. But when you were born and raised here, like it's like nothing impresses you about it so much, and you like become this bitter New Yorker of like, oh, don't go there, it's a tourist trap. Which
Yeah.
there's plenty of that, but like I enjoy being here, and it's fun in New York, but and like, it's fun in doses, and it's New York. You still get the vibes from it, and it's very diverse, as I said. But and for after a while, it becomes sort of repetitive. But this is not my tourism ad for New York. You don't need me to want to go to New York.
I
It's
got you. I got
expensive.
you.
It's
Oh
expensive.
yeah. Yeah, well,
That's not fun.
almost any big city, if you live in the city, is, but New York especially, I know. But you know, for about 7 years as a kid, I lived on the east coast of Florida.
Mhm.
So, the beach holds no mystique for me. my wife loves taking trips to the beach, and I'm just like, you
It's
know,
water.
yeah. I mean, when you live at the beach, you never go to the beach, and it loses all of its mystique.
Yeah.
So you know,
In my case,
um,
you see a building, you've seen every building.
right, right. So, they say that the best wrestling personas are usually kind of yourself turned up to 11. So, tell us a bit about in ring abs and kind of compare and contrast him with everyday you.
Um, I'm generally a very shy, antisocial person, whereas an abs just kind of, I think he's while he can be similar, but also at the same time he's a little bit more unfiltered. He forgot to take his ADHD meds, I guess. He doesn't always know what to say when he's in there, so he just says random stuff. Uh just to be more vocal. So obviously he's got to tell you his abs are real because they are. No one in the business
Absolutely.
is more real than abs, especially his actual abs.
Yeah.
He's got to tell you all that.
And
He's
the hardcore.
hardcore. Yes, the hardest core. Like literally,
Yeah.
get it because it's core. Yeah,
Yeah.
and he's not too much different. I think he's just a little bit more of what adds a little bit more of what Andrew wants to be.
Gotcha. So, tell us about your very first match. What was it like? How did
Oof.
it go? What were your thoughts going into it, thoughts coming out of it, all of that? Just lay it on us.
It was for a student show for the World of Unpredictable Wrestling in 2014, literally like 3 months in. It was a battle royal. So honestly, that's how I think most debut matches should go. It should be a battle royal. And yeah, you of course you're just putting your newly minted skills to the test, and they tell you don't bump in the battle royal. I get drop kicked square in the face, left me with a little bruise, and I bump in the battle royal. But I stayed around till the last three, so
Well,
uh,
hey.
yeah, there you go. Didn't want to go, just hung in there.
Yep.
Me and my red singlet and kick pads when I didn't even throw kicks, but
Well, hey.
I couldn't afford boots.
Absolutely.
But yeah, that was basically my first match. Then the show after we did like a sort of gauntlet match type of deal. So that became my official first like one-on-one in a ring match, and so on and so forth. Yeah.
Gotcha. So, we've heard about the first match. Now tell us about your favorite match that you've been a part of,
Ooh.
if you can narrow it down.
Honestly, I could even say probably my favorite match is gonna be one of my matches coming up. I'll get to that later, I guess. But for right now, what can I say? My match with my most one of my more recent matches with Erica Damia actually was really good. My match with her at Intergender Bonanza for the IG Super title back in
Hmm.
November. I am really happy with that match because it was
You
just
know,
wacky, and it was my first title match too. So
I actually had the pleasure of seeing Erica wrestle at interestingly enough, it was the very first indie show I had ever attended in person.
oh wow.
Um, Back in last July in Augusta, Georgia, at Phoenix Wrestling
Well, yeah,
Experience.
you're from the South, so I figure you would know who you know about her.
Oh yeah, yeah.
She's getting out there quite a bit. I mean, I hate her, but she's popular. I'll give her that.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
I also had a really good match with her dad, actually, too. Solar.
Oh yeah.
Uh, I had a fun match with him too before, like back in October. not October, August. Sorry, yeah. And I thought that was really good. I one of my big favorite matches I actually had ever was in 2020. Uh, s- During COVID times, we had Camp Leapfrog was around, and it was me versus blank dude from Chikara, and it was really it was a pumpkin patch death match, and it was really one of my most fun matches I ever had. It was it was where I won the Camp Leapfrog participation trophy, which you win and defend by losing. I only just recently got rid of that, so yeah, it's really hard for me to dig into that vault for my favorite match because I don't know if I've had it yet, but those are some notable matches I've had.
Gotcha. Speed round.
Uh huh.
Mike Bailey.
Oh, Speedball.
Yeah.
Really polite too. Like the times I met him, he was super polite. I guess that's very Canadian of him.
Mm-hmm.
I guess when you're French Canadian too, it's like it's double the politeness.
Right. Right. Yeah. You get extra politeness points for being French. um, you know, I have heard from people that have attended seminars that he has put on that he is also one of the best teachers out there.
Oh, I can imagine. I have yet to attend a seminar of his, but I've met him at shows and so gracious and polite. So I can imagine that translates very well into being a teacher and learning from him.
Absolutely.
Great mind for the business. He
Oh, for
gets it.
sure. For sure. You know, and
Plus, anyone that wrestles barefoot gets my respect.
yeah. Yeah. So, and I know everybody has them, but what is your biggest in-ring pet peeve?
In literally in the ring.
Yeah, the things that other competitors do, or just anything that just sticks in your craw.
I nothing sticks in my craw a lot because I generally keep an open mind with everything. And
Hmm.
who am I to tell anyone what to do or just dictate anything? Everyone works differently. Uh, I think when people just want to do the basic stuff. I think creativity in wrestling is important. You need to be as imaginative and creative with your spots and your moves as possible, and doing it with authority and conviction and follow through and like intensity. Like, sure, I think thinking outside the box is something that needs to be done more, and like people take like wanting to do the simple stuff. Like, it's fun for certain things, but you also got to put your own spin on it. That I generally It doesn't like grind my gears or get me upset, but I wish there was just people had a little bit more like imagination for certain things and doing things. And I'm all for simple too, but there's certain ways to put fun spins on that too.
Gotcha. So I know that in terms of preparing for a match, there are really two and a half different approaches. You can either work it out with your opponent in the back, you can call it in the ring, or you can kind of do a hybrid of both. Do you have a
Mhm.
preference?
I would say I would probably go with the hybrid of both. I personally think, especially if it's someone you're meeting for the first time, calling it in the ring isn't particularly uh ideal, I guess. Uh and like when people say call it in the ring, it generally just becomes like sort of old school and all that stuff, and like unless you really are like a trained, like you've been at it for a long time, it just ends up being a very simple, relatively boring, uneventful match. It's like, what, lock on a headlock for 15 minutes? That's calling it in the ring. I generally believe calling it in the ring is is a skill that needs to be used like if something goes wrong, or if just something you want to add your own little flair to and pepper it in here and there if the opportunity calls for it. But only if you're really, really trying to come back from something that was messed up, or you want to just add a little extra layer to a certain thing, but nothing too complicated in that case, obviously. But generally, I believe in communicating in the ring, yes, but in the back, I think calling your stuff like is equally as important too. Like you want to go out
Yeah.
there with a plan, but also at the same. I'm all over the place with this answer, but in the same breath, like I get uh things may not stick in your head a lot and you may forget when you get out there. I 100% get that. I get the nerves all the time. So I think you should definitely be equipped with both.
Gotcha. So, if you could only be one, would you rather be great in the ring or great on the mic?
Mm. I think if you know your basics enough, or you do your offense with enough conviction and intensity, and you truly believe in your character, your wrestling will already look pretty good. So I say on the mic, especially for me, I would much rather be good on the mic because that's how you get people in.
Right.
Honestly, you're like if you are confident enough in the ring already, then I say mic.
Yeah. I mean, I would tend to think if you're a good talker, you probably ultimately could have more career longevity as well.
Exactly, exactly.
Because if your body starts to break down, but you can talk. There's still other things you can do
Yeah,
and stay in the business.
there's
So
managing, there's commentary. Yeah, I 100% agree with that. You can and I always like value character work over physical in ring ability.
absolutely. So, what has been your most unusual encounter with a fan?
They've generally been okay with me so far. I mean, I guess one fan did message me saying when I had longer hair once, like, "Hey, I bet your opponent has wanted to pull your long hair," and I'm like, "Okay." They DM'd that to me, but
Oh,
honestly, I have not had a super strange fan experience yet. We'll see. I'll let you know when it
well,
happens.
that's a good thing, because you don't want to end up with some kind of a stalker or a weirdo or something,
No, of course
So
not.
yeah,
I always am very polite with people who I mean I don't people who like say they at least like my stuff.
yeah,
I am
yeah,
very appreciative of anyone that likes that even watches my stuff. So
right. So, based on the fact that you got started in 2019, obviously it had an impact. So, tell us about the impact the pandemic had on your wrestling career, because I know for a while everything shut down.
yeah, honestly, I think it kind of had the reverse effect than it did for most people, where it kind of slowed people to slow down. I sort of kind of that's where I sort of kind of got my name out there because during the pandemic, we had Camp Leapfrog, which was like a little thing on. It was you. I don't know if you've seen that before. You're aware of Camp Leapfrog?
Um, I've heard about it, but I don't know a lot.
Yeah, it was just something. So like it was like a thing for wrestlers can consistently wrestle in a safe and environment. Just get some footage, put it on IWTV, get some notoriety, and it got very popular for a while. And that's sort of where I got my start. And from there, it's what gave me the sort of fans. I guess this even the small recognition I get now, where people know who I am. It's usually from that, and it came during the pandemic. So it didn't. That is where things kind of picked up for me. It was after
Hmm.
Camp Leapfrog shut down is where things kind of slowed down a little bit. But that the pandemic kind of like unfortunately for a lot of people it slowed them down. But in my case, kind of picked up a bit.
Gotcha. Um, so have you been doing the abs persona your whole career, or is that a more recent development?
Well, as I said, I've always had abs, so
Of course.
I just when I first started in my first in my first 5 years doing student shows at Johnny Rod's, I wore singlets. I covered them up.
Right.
Didn't want to make people
Yeah,
look
you didn't want to make people feel inferior.
exactly, and also I wanted to see what I can do without them.
Yeah.
But then I guess towards the end of my time there, I started whipping them out. I started using them a lot more. Uh, People started noticing, and then pretty much I've stuck with abs the moment I stepped foot in the indies,
Nice, nice.
and then here I and stuck around.
So, do you have an all-time favorite match as a fan? A match that you can have watched it a million times and it just never really gets old, and there's always some new little nugget you can pull from it.
Ooh, that's tough. Honestly, I don't. Hmm. Maybe the Shawn Michaels Undertaker match at 25. That
Yeah.
was fantastic. And probably probably take Mankind and the Undertaker Hell in a Cell.
Oh yeah.
Probably. Honestly, I'm bad at answering this question because there's not a lot I could think of because they're all I just generally enjoy watching anything I can. But those probably stick out the most.
Gotcha. Speed round. Penta.
De Romero.
See.
Uh, Generally, I love that guy. He is super duper. He seems like one of the most humble guys out there, and I'm so happy he is where he's at now.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, and he seems like you said, genuinely humble and genuinely just a good guy. So
Hmm. Yeah. Just his debut was cool though. In WWE was cool also, and I'm happy to see him finally get his due. I think what really like gravitated me towards him, and I guess everyone notices it now, but the little strut thing he does in his entrance, I'm like, that's so
mhm.
cool.
Yeah, yeah.
I think
Well,
did he get that from the Parka or something? Because that seems like something the Parka would do.
that's true. I had not thought about that, but yeah, that's totally a La Parca thing.
Yeah.
Interesting, interesting. Well, I was reading just a little while ago that apparently AEW today has granted Ray Phoenix his release.
You know,
So
yeah.
so the question is, how quickly is he going to make his debut in WWE? Because if you remember, they granted Starks his release, and 24 hours later, he shows up in NXT. So
I think at this point they're gonna probably save him for after Mania. You know how those things go.
yeah, yeah,
And
um,
in my personal opinion, I think let him have a little bit of a run like Penta's having now, just so they can individually show him off too, and then eventually bring them together.
right, right. Yeah,
Give him a moment to get over like Penta.
I'm actually thinking maybe even at the beginning, put Ray Phoenix on SmackDown. Uh,
Yeah,
have them on separate brands, and then eventually, like you said, bring them together. You
yeah.
know,
See how amazing they both are separately, and then show them how amazing they are together. Fun fact: I actually met them at an indie show once. I was at, and they were super cool.
really, that's
Yeah.
cool. So, and this can be present day or past. Who would be a dream opponent? Who would Abs love to work?
I feel like just for the sake of body guys and abs, maybe Rick Rude.
Oh yeah,
Abs and
um,
Rick Rude.
you guys could have an Abs off.
Yeah, exactly. We could just do it, and I could do his little
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah. You could do the gyration, and
Yeah.
you and Finn Balor ought to have an abs off too.
Oh, for sure. And then I have like, there's also guys out there now. I have they're currently up there. Give me John Morrison or Johnny TV, whatever you
Oh
want to
yeah,
call him now. I think just the visual of that would be fun. Uh, Give me Dango,
yeah,
Dirty Dango.
yeah.
Uh,
Or when he was in his prime, you and Shawn Michaels could have had
oh,
a
that'd be
sexy
fun.
boy thing going on.
Ooh, don't get me started there. There you go. Uh, I get one top guy that's on my. I got to do a little comedy wrestling show with him, but I want to have a real match in the ring with him one day. And that's dream match is Orange Cassidy.
Oh yeah. No, I think you two would have a lot of fun together.
Yeah,
He's another guy that just
he
seems
gets it.
like a really cool guy.
He's a guy who can do so much, but he's found a thing where he doesn't have to. He gets it. He gets the business, and that's what people are.
Yeah,
That's what, like, I guess more older school guys just don't seem to get. He gets the business as much as
yeah.
anybody does.
Oh yeah, yeah. And recently I had the chance to actually see some of his stuff from Chikara before the whole ant colony thing that that was going.
Wait,
That was pretty
he
unique.
was one of the ants.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. Learn, learn something new every day. But no, he's one of those guys that can do so much, but chooses not to, and I respect him
Right.
for it.
Right. And again, some of that is potentially career longevity as well.
Yeah, even though lately on AEW he has been a lot more work rate lately. I guess because but he's trying to. Is at this point he's adding more layers to the character, so I love it.
Absolutely. Yep.
So top of my list,
So,
Orange Cassidy.
oh yeah. Yeah. So, what is your favorite move? What is something that you just really enjoy doing? And on the flip side of that, is there a move that you won't do or you would at least rather not do? And that can be giving or receiving.
I love abdominal stretches. I
Yeah.
mean, isn't it obvious?
Yeah.
I
I mean,
love locking people in the abdominal stretch because I could just chill there. I could just hang out there. I could wrench it in. I could put my finger in my I could hook my finger in the back of my belt loop and just hang there for a bit, show off, flex the
yeah,
muscle and all. I'm there helping them get some abs by stretching them out.
absolutely. And you could even do the old stomach claw.
I do that too. I love the stomach claw. It's
Yeah.
wrenching it in. I pick them up. Also, I slam them. It's
Nice.
what those are my two favorite things to do. I also put their head on my abs, and I jump
Yeah.
up, hit a code breaker,
Absolutely.
DDT them on top of it, whatever they want to do. Moves I hate taking. All of them. I don't like be taking any moves. I don't like being body slammed. I don't like being well, who does though? But if
Right.
there's a move I just won't do because I don't know how to do. I I can't trust myself to safely pile drive anyone, so I'm not going to do it. I just don't do pile drivers.
Well,
Besides,
that makes sense.
why drop someone on their head when you can just get them in the stomach? In my case,
Exactly. Exactly. You know, something that I've said in a few of these, and you don't see this move much anymore, and which in my mind is a good thing. But it always gives me the heebie-jeebies when I see somebody setting up for a vertebreaker. That just looks like something that there are so many ways that move could go catastrophically bad.
uh-huh.
You know,
No, I
so,
100% agree with that.
yeah, yeah. You know, like I said, back in the Attitude Era, vertebreakers were like suplexes. They were just constant,
Yeah.
but now, I
Yeah.
mean, it's just you don't see it much anymore. And when you do, I'm just like, just please don't die.
And well, the only one that really does it is homicide, right?
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. So, you've been doing this long enough that I'm sure this applies to one degree or another. So I'll ask you, what hurts right now? Or should I ask what doesn't hurt?
Uh, my wrist was feeling very stiff yesterday. I don't know from what, but it's better now. But right now it's my wrist, and I think my soul, my ego.
Yeah,
I always have back problems too, but you know what doesn't hurt in my case? My
you're out.
abs.
Yeah, they just hurt other people.
Yeah, exactly. Other
You
than my
know,
abs, everything else on me hurts like hell.
they just they hurt you physically and they hurt your feelings
Yeah, exactly.
because not everybody can be a body guy.
No, no, they can't. They all want to wrestle, be, and have do moves. No, have abs, Joe.
Yeah, that's all you need.
You just need abs. This business is all about abs. It's a middle body business, not an upper body business.
Yep, it's all about the uh, the
You're
midriff.
damn right. That's why I wear crop tops.
Hmm. So, what is the most significant injury that you've suffered either wrestling or training? Not your
In tra-
abs, I'm sure.
no, no, no. In training, I fractured a rib once. I was going for an elbow drop and someone moved and I landed funny and then boom, fractured rib. Other than that, nothing. It's nothing too severe so far.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So, what is your take on the role that social media is playing as a promotional tool for wrestling?
I would have probably a year or two ago, I would have said it's super duper important, and it probably still is. But with the way social media is going nowadays, with everything you hear about, I don't even know anymore. Honestly, like it's such. It's social media has made or break broken people recently, and it can determine a lot of things, especially how you carry yourself on there and how you're what you're doing to sort of reach out to people, what you're putting content you're putting out to show off your personality. You still keep doing that, but like something with I don't know, with the direction social media has been going in recently with all sorts of stuff, I begin to question that every day. Honestly, I'm still figuring it out, but I would have normally said it's super important.
Gotcha. Let's see here. Speed round.
Mm.
Chris Hero.
Oh, lovely guy. Really charming. I met him at a show once and he like actually like I introduced myself to him and he actually like said my name back and he was very nice. And you know when someone says your name back to you, that means they're really listening and they're just genuinely really nice. And I hear he's just such a sweet guy and very so full of knowledge too. So I
Hmm.
admire him. Like I heard he's done like 4 hour seminars of him literally just talking and like people just sitting down taking notes. It's like he's teaching, it's a classroom with him.
Yeah, so basically like a 4 hour just brain dump. I mean,
More or less.
yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah, and his his stuff that he did on the Indies with Claudio Castagnoli as the
Oh,
Kings of Wrestling. I mean that
he's a pioneer of the business. Yeah.
absolutely. So, you're still a comparatively young guy, but knowing everything that you know at this point in your life, if you could give any advice to your younger self, what would it be?
Well, besides the abs, get in better cardiovascular shape. Yeah, Andrew, you needed to really, really drive down health and nutrition a lot, a lot better because that's overall. I think that me not prioritizing that back in the day really kind of, I think, cost me a lot of opportunities, and it's cost me a lot of time, I think, in wrestling. And it's better now. It's gotten better more recently, but me not prioritizing that, it was a dumb dumb mistake on my part, honestly, and that's how something I'm always gonna have to live with. So, your health and fitness, and just mental health and everything, your personal life needs to be in check before you can get out and even think about doing this.
Gotcha. So, do you have any pre-show traditions, any things you try to do consistently before you go through the curtain?
I
Flex the
don't.
abs?
Yeah, I'll massage it a little. Uh,
Yeah,
well, some people they like to pace around and like psych themselves up, pray, whatever, and all that stuff. Do wall push-ups. Everyone has their own personal thing. I just stand there blankly. I'll maybe pace around a little bit, but I try to keep my mind as empty as possible. Good thoughts, thoughtful breathing to myself, and then you just try to clear my mind before I go out there. I literally just try to think of nothing.
gotcha. So, something that we've done in all of these that's just been kind of fun is we have let the current guest pose a question for the next guest. So, one of my previous guests posed this question, and that is, in 2025, what are you doing that you weren't doing in 2024 in terms of trying to get yourself over?
Mm. Well, for one, it's in my case the number one most important thing is I lost a lot of weight over this past year, so I still got the abs though. Um,
They're probably even more defined. Uh-oh.
Sorry, I've been much more athletic. What happened here?
I don't know. Are you hearing me?
Oh,
Can you hear me?
hello.
Can
Hmm.
you hear me?
All right. Sorry, got disconnected there.
Okay, we good?
Yeah. Uh,
Okay.
let's just say, all right. I have taken control of my health a lot more, and I am much more nimble and athletic than I was before.
Awesome. So, since this is part of a series, do you have a question?
All right.
Hey,
Sorry, connection stuff.
oh,
I've
no
much.
problem.
All right, but yeah, I've gotten more control of my health recently.
Awesome.
That's what I'm doing, and hopefully, and people are noticing. People have been complimenting me a lot more. So I, yeah, that's the most important thing to getting over, and then it allows me to be more of myself out there.
Gotcha. So, since this is part of a series, do you have a question that you would like to pose for the next guest? And I can go ahead and tell you the next guest is going to be on Wednesday night at 7. I have a wrestler who is she is fairly new to the business, based out of New Orleans, who goes by the name Lucky.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't
Okay.
have to be it doesn't have to be particular to her, but do you have a question that you would like to pose?
Hmm. Okay.
If you can't think of anything at the moment, you can always DM me.
Yeah. I will. I'll definitely do that. If something pops up right now, I'll let you know too.
Okay. Okay. So we're pretty much toward the end of things now. So do you have any upcoming shows or anything at all that you'd like to give some hype to?
Oh wait, no, I have a question. I have a question for the
Okay.
guest.
Okay.
What are you doing to work on your character or your gimmick? What content are you putting out? What are you doing to get your gimmick over?
Very good. And I know how you would answer that. You are really putting out some clever stuff. I've prowled around on
Oh, thank you.
your TikTok and some of the other social media, and I really like the abs verse that you've got going.
Thank you so much. I try.
So, do you have any upcoming shows or anything at all that you'd like to give some hype to?
Yes. On Saturday, March 8th, I will be at Remarkable Wrestling out on Long Island. I will be in the Remarkable Rumble to crown their Remarkable Champion. I am going to toss 29 other people out and win the title because I have abs and they don't. And I deserve
Absolutely.
titles because I have abs. I look like a champion. Uh, and then following that, I have probably my biggest match to date, March 14th, Friday, Intergender Bonanza at the H2O Center in New Jersey. I creamed out. I am facing the bulldozer, Matt Tremont.
Oh wow.
Yeah, probably my biggest match today. I'm probably not going to survive, but I'm going to show that abless deathmatch weirdo Matt Tremont that I am more hardcore than he is, and I'm going to embarrass him in his own building. And I'm going to stretch him out, and then the CWO is going to cream him. And
Nice,
I'm going to
nice.
mix the cream with his blood, and I'm going to feed it to him. He's going to lick it off my abs. He's going to eat my abs. I'm going to take him down. And yeah, he may be scary, but I'm abs.
That's true. That's true.
And yeah,
You've got something he doesn't have.
yeah, abs. And
Yeah,
I'm handsome.
that too. That too.
So yeah, abs and Matt Tremont. March 14th.
Very cool.
Watch
Very
it on
cool.
IWTV.
Definitely. Well, as far as what we've got going here at the Throwdown, like I said, Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, I've got episode 92 with New Orleans-based Lucky. And then on Thursday the 6th, also at 7 p.m. Eastern, I've got episode 93 with a wrestler out of Florida who also is now one of the Savannah Bananas baseball team's man-nanas, a guy who goes by the name The Cheese.
Okay. Lucky and the Cheese, man. All
Lucky
following
and the
abs.
Cheese. Absolutely.
Man, you don't have a normal name. You don't have someone with any normal name.
Not lately. No, it's been fun. You know, something that occurs to me. You should see about getting a match with Ricky Starks, and then you can determine who is really absolute.
Oh yeah, It's as easy as getting signed to NXT for $1 million contract and moving down to Florida.
Yeah, you know.
I have cousins in Tampa. I'll stay with them.
Oh, well, I want to thank you for your time. This has been a lot of fun.
Thank you. This is very good too.
And for those of you that have been watching this live, thank you for that. For those of you that'll be seeing this on replays and such, thank you for that. If you like what we've got going here, do the old like, comment, share, subscribe. And
drink Pellegrino.
absolutely. And is that the secret of the abs, the Pellegrino?
And steak. Pellegrino and steak. Yeah.
Pellegrino and steak. Words of wisdom. So before we wrap this up, do you have any final things you want to say to the Throwdown Nation?
It's a middle body business that's all about abs. So do your sit-ups, do your crunches, and drink Pellegrino.
And eat steak.
Sure. That's optional. Just drink Pellegrino.
Absolutely. Well, anyway, we will be back Wednesday night. And in the meantime, love each other, be good to each other, and keep throwing down and drinking.